Heidi Ho, my little geologist. Welcome back to the video notes. So in this video we're going to talk about hardness. Now hardness may not sound like anything too exceptional, but it's actually really important to mineral identification. It's one of the properties we use to identify different minerals. Each mineral has a hardness depending on where it is in the scale. And we're going to talk about all that stuff in the reading. So in my notes, I'm not going to put the date down for today. I decided that I don't want to break up my mineral identification section in my notes with a date, so I'm just going to keep going on this in this section here. So today, hardness. So this is on page 92 in the book. Hardness. When you want to identify a mineral, one of the most useful clues is to use the mineral's hardness. In 1812, Austrian Friedrich Mohs, a mineral expert, invented a scale to help identify minerals by how hard they are. The Mohs hardness scale is used to rank the hardness of minerals. The scale assigns a mineral's hardness a ranking from 1 to 10, shown in figure 6. So right now I can already see we have one of our highlighted words in here, Mohs hardness scale. So I want to make sure I put that in my notes. Hardness is how hard a mineral is. That makes sense, right? Mohs hardness scale is really important. It is the scale that geologists use to determine the hardness of a mineral. So, scale used to rank hardness of a mineral, with 1 being the softest and 10 being the hardest. I just like to put that little extra information, that way I know for future reference. So, let's go back to our text. Hardness can be determined by a scratch test. A mineral can scratch any mineral softer than itself, but can be scratched by any mineral harder than a mineral that is harder. For example, suppose you found a deposit of azurite. Azurite is not on the Mohs hardness scale, but you would like to determine its hardness. So you take a small sample and try to scratch it with talc, gypsum, and calcite. But none of the minerals scratch your sample. Apatite, a rated 5 on the scale, does scratch it. Therefore, the hardness of azurite is probably about a 4. So in that example, they're explaining to us that in the Mohs hardness scale, so if you have a mineral, take for example this one, azurite. Anything softer than azurite will be scratched by it. Well, it won't scratch azurite, it will be scratched by azurite. But anything that's harder than azurite will scratch it. That sounds kind of confusing, but I'm going to help you out a little bit here. This is a picture of the Mohs hardness scale. As you can see, it has 1 down here, all the way up to 10. 1 is talc. Talc is one of the softest minerals. And diamond is the hardest. Which is, that makes sense, right? Diamonds are hard. So, you have over here the minerals that commonly go with each level on the hardness scale. And then over here, you have common everyday objects that fall on the Mohs hardness scale also. So, the most common one that you see literally every day is your fingernail. Your fingernail has a hardness of 2.5. So that means that your fingernail can scratch gypsum and talc, but it cannot scratch calcite, fluorite, apatite, and all these ones up here. It can't scratch any of those. Take, for example, a copper penny. A copper penny can scratch calcite, gypsum, and talc, but not anything up here. And then up here, a masonry drill bit, which is generally, masonry drill bit, it can scratch all of these down here, but it can't scratch anything. It can't scratch 9 or 10 levels. So that kind of gives you a better idea of what can be scratched and what can't scratch. Diamond is really hard. Diamond can scratch all of this stuff. So then let's go back. Down here, it shows you that with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the hardness increases. So 5 is harder than 1, 4 is harder than 2. That all makes sense. It's pretty self-explanatory there. Something I think that's kind of interesting that I'll add here is, did you know apatite is a mineral included on the Mohs hardness scale? Enamel on mature teeth consists mainly of apatite crystals. So the enamel that's on your teeth, the stuff that protects your teeth and keeps them from chipping and getting bacteria in it, is made up of a mineral on the Mohs hardness scale. Your teeth have minerals in them. That's something cool to see. The next thing on your to-do list is you're going to try your hand at using the Mohs hardness scale and finding the hardness of different minerals. So good luck, and I'll see you on the flip side.